Welcome to Napimal, where the wild world helps you rest. Tonight, we journey into the lives of nature's most fascinating creatures, told through calm narration and the soft sounds of their world. If you enjoy these journeys, leave a like, share where you're listening from, and subscribe for more. Dawn on the savanna. The first light of morning touches the African plains. A pale gold glow spreads across endless grasslands where the night's cool air still lingers. Dew gathers on tall blades of grass and a thin mist curls above the earth, blurring the line between land and sky. The savanna is stirring, quietly, patiently, as the rhythm of a new day begins. Somewhere in the distance, a low, deep sound rolls through the air. It's not thunder, it's a voice, ancient and powerful yet gentle, the call of the elephant. They have roamed this land longer than we can imagine. For millions of years, elephants have moved with the slow, deliberate grace of time itself. They are nature's quiet giants, caretakers of the earth, shapers of forests, keepers of memory. As the sun rises higher, their silhouettes appear on the horizon, a small herd walking together side by side. There is rhythm in their movement, a harmony of weight and stillness, strength and calm. Each step leaves a deep print in the dust, a mark that will soon be erased by wind, but not by history. Among them walks the matriarch, the oldest and wisest of the group. Her tusks are worn smooth by age. Her ears carry the marks of many seasons. She leads her family not by command, but by memory, guiding them toward water, shade, and safety. Every path she takes has been walked before by mothers and grandmothers long gone, yet still remembered in her mind. In the early light, the elephants pause to feed. Their trunks move gently through the grass, pulling up clumps with a quiet, rhythmic grace. To watch them is to see patience made visible. No hurry, no chaos, only purpose. Nearby, a calf, still learning the world, mimics its mother's movements. It fumbles, trunk curling awkwardly before finally grasping a few stems. The mother lowers her head, touching her trunk gently against her calves, a silent reassurance that says, "You're doing just fine." This is the language of elephants. Touch, presence, memory. They speak not in words, but in gestures and vibrations, in sounds too deep for us to hear. Even now, as they feed in the calm of dawn, low rumbles pass between them, a conversation older than humanity itself. Around them, the savanna breathes. Birds rise from the trees, insects hum softly in the grass, and far off, the cry of a fish-eagle drifts through the air. This is their home, vast, open, alive. Every sound, every scent, every vibration tells a story the elephants can feel. And as the day awakens, so too does their journey. The matriarch lifts her trunk once more, sensing the direction of the wind. The herd begins to move, slow, steady, and silent, through a world that has always known their kind. Family and hierarchy. The strength of the elephant lies not in its size, but in its family. In a world of shifting seasons and uncertain rains, it is their unity that keeps them alive. At the center of every herd is the matriarch, the eldest female, wise with memory and time. She carries the knowledge of generations within her, where the hidden water holes lie when the rivers run dry, which paths are safe from predators, and where the acacia trees bloom first after the rains. Around her move her daughters, nieces, and their calves, a network of life held together by bond older than any map. Every elephant in the group knows her place, her role, her connection to the others. The young follow the old, not out of fear, but of trust. When danger stirs, the matriarch is the first to react. She stands tall, head raised, ears wide. With a single deep rumble, she gathers her family close. A soundless command that sends calves running under their mothers' bellies for protection. But most days, there is no danger here. Only the slow passage of sun and shadow, the rhythm of feeding, walking, and resting, a language of peace that fills the space between breaths. Elephants live by emotion as much as instinct. They greet each other after long separations with low, trembling rumbles and gentle touches. Trunks tracing familiar faces like the hands of old friends. Scientists have watched elephants recognize one another after years apart, rushing forward with unmistakable joy, their great bodies trembling with excitement. It is reunion, memory, love, words we use for ourselves, yet just as true for them. When a calf is born, the herd gathers close. They form a circle around the mother, shielding her and her newborn from the world. Trunks reach out in gentle greeting, touching, exploring, reassuring. The air fills with low, throaty murmurs, the sound of celebration, a lullaby sung not in notes, but in vibration. Each calf grows under many watchful eyes. Older sisters act as caretakers, babysitters in the vast nursery of the savanna. They learn by doing, how to use their trunks, how to sense the moods of others, how to follow the slow, patient rhythm of the herd. Through this, the next generation learns not only how to survive, but how to belong. Even loss is shared among them. When one elephant falls, the herd does not move on quickly. They linger, touching the body with their trunks, standing silently for hours, sometimes days. Some return weeks later, still pausing where their companion once lay. It is not something we can fully explain, but in their stillness there is understanding. It is the language of memory, the quiet recognition that life, however long, is sacred. Through family, elephants remember who they are. Each one carries the wisdom of those who came before. A living chain of knowledge, passed not through words, but through touch, through presence, through love. And as the day brightens, the herd moves onward once again, a living family woven together by patience, memory, and care. Daily life. As the morning sun rises higher, warmth spreads across the plains. The air shimmers above the golden grass, and the herd moves onward, slow, steady, deliberate. Each day for an elephant is a journey, not of haste, but of rhythm. They travel miles in quiet procession, tracing paths known for generations. Their feet, padded and soft beneath their weight, press gently into the earth. Even their footsteps seem to move in harmony with the land. The matriarch leads them toward water. Along the way, they pause beneath the shade of acacia trees, pulling branches free with practiced ease. Their trunks, those extraordinary instruments, are both strong and delicate. In a single movement, they can uproot a bush or pluck a single blade of grass. They feed almost constantly, for an elephant's hunger is as vast as its body. Nearly 200 kilograms of plants each day, grass, bark, roots, fruit, a slow banquet beneath the open sky. But there is no rush here. They eat the way the earth breathes, steadily, peacefully. Each chew, each tear of grass becomes part of the day's gentle rhythm. When the herd finds water, the mood shifts. Excitement ripples through the group. low rumbles echoing as trunks lift high, scenting the promise of coolness. At the edge of a shallow pool, they wade in together. Water splashes, sunlight glints off their backs, and for a moment the world feels lighter. They drink deeply, filling themselves with life, and then they play. Calves trumpet in delight, rolling in the shallows, spraying one another in messy arcs of water. Even the adults join in, tossing streams over their shoulders, their gray skin turning darker and shining in the light. Bathing is joy, but it's also survival. The water cools them, the mud protects their skin from insects and sun. When they climb out, they cover themselves with dust, a natural armor, turning their bodies into soft silhouettes of the earth itself. And then the calm returns. Some stand under trees, resting their great bodies in the shade. Others slowly graze, eyes half closed, swaying slightly as they pull at the grass. A calf lies beside its mother, trunk draped across her foot. The mother remains perfectly still, only her tail moving now and then to flick away a fly. The afternoon light settles across the plains. Time moves differently here, not measured in hours but in breaths, in the slow turning of shadow and sun. For elephants, each day is both ordinary and sacred. They do not chase moments, they live them fully, quietly as they come. And in that rhythm they remind us of something we too often forget, that peace is not found in stillness alone, but in the calm acceptance of life's endless motion. As the air grows thick with the scent of warm earth and grass, the herd continues their slow march, their shadows stretching long across the savanna. The day drifts onward, unhurried, unbroken, guided by instinct, memory, and the sun. Communication and emotion. As the afternoon deepens, the savanna begins to quiet. Heat shimmers above the ground, and distant clouds gather on the horizon. The elephants pause in the stillness, listening, feeling, communicating. For elephants, conversation is not limited to sound. It moves through the air, the ground, and even the heart. The deep calls they make, long, low vibrations, can travel for miles across the earth. To us, they are barely audible. But to another elephant, those sounds are clear as speech. Through them, they share warnings, invitations, reassurance, and love. It is a symphony of rumbles and murmurs, a music of meaning that never stops, even when they appear to be silent. Some of their calls pass through the ground, reaching the sensitive pads of an elephant's feet. They can feel these messages as faint tremors, as though the very earth were whispering. A matriarch might sense another herd 5 kilometers away, simply through the pulse of vibration beneath her feet. In a way, the land itself becomes their voice. But elephants do not only communicate with sound. They use their trunks, their posture, their stillness. A trunk draped across another's back is friendship. A gentle nudge can mean comfort or guidance or follow me. A raised head and stiff tail can warn of danger. Every movement carries meaning, not random, but deliberate, as though each gesture were a word written in air. When a calf strays too far, its mother lets out a soft, rumbling call. The little one answers immediately, a higher, quicker sound, relief and apology in one. They find each other again, trunks touching, eyes closing for a brief, tender moment. Among elephants, emotion is not hidden. It flows openly, joy, curiosity, grief. They feel deeply and remember what they feel. When two herds meet after long absence, there is excitement, low rumbles of recognition, and greetings of touch. Old friends stand side by side, their trunks tracing familiar shapes, the equivalent of a smile, a handshake, a hug. And when they mourn, their grief is profound. They stand quietly over the bones of their kind, touching them, lifting them, as though searching for life still hidden in the silence. Some return years later, pausing in the same place, remembering the one who is gone. We cannot know exactly what passes through their minds, but their actions tell us enough. They know love, they know loss, they know connection, the same thread that binds all living things. In their world, emotion is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is what keeps them together through drought and danger, what makes them patient, loyal, and kind. The herd begins to move again, their great shapes glowing in the slanting light of afternoon. Each step, each sound, each shared touch adds to the story of who they are. A family guided not just by instinct, but by something far deeper, a quiet, enduring love. Memory and migration. As the sun begins to lean westward, a faint wind sweeps across the plains, carrying with it the scent of rain. The matriarch pauses. Her trunk lifts into the air, swaying gently as she tastes the wind, and in that motion lies the decision that will shape the days ahead. For the elephants, movement is life. They are wanderers, travelers of the ancient world, walking the same invisible roads their ancestors once knew. Their paths are not random. They are written in memory, lines traced through time by generations of feet upon the earth. Elephants can remember water holes that have not been filled for decades, paths that stretch hundreds of miles across open land, trees that bloom once every few years. In the dry season, when the rivers fade and grass turns brittle, it is the matriarch's memory that keeps them alive. She leads her family with quiet certainty, step by step, day by day, toward water that only she remembers. Her daughters follow, their calves trailing behind, each one learning the map through experience and trust. And when, at last, they reach the hidden oasis, the herd rejoices, not with noise or chaos, but with low, resonant calls that roll across the plains like a hymn. They drink slowly, deliberately, savoring the coolness as if tasting the memory itself. For them, water is not just survival, it is connection. It ties the present to the past, and the living to those who came before. Over time, the calves will memorize this same path. They will walk it one day with families of their own, trusting in the same invisible thread of memory. It is through these journeys that elephants shape the land around them. They open paths that other animals use, dig water holes that sustain life during droughts, spread seeds that will grow into new trees. Without them, the rhythm of the savanna itself would change. Their migration is not just movement, it is memory made visible, a story written on the earth, told again and again through the slow passing of generations. And in their long, patient walk, there is something deeply human, the persistence to continue, the faith that what is remembered is worth finding again. When the rains finally arrive, the savanna transforms. Grass rises green and tall, flowers bloom across the plains, and the elephants rest in the abundance of life they have earned. Calves splash in the fresh puddles, the herd bathes, and the matriarch stands at the edge of the water hole, watching her family with quiet satisfaction. She has led them here once more. Her memory, the living record of survival, will one day pass to another, and the journey will begin again. Through their migrations, elephants remind us that the earth remembers too. Every path, every footprint, every echo of their call is part of the world's long story, a story still being written with every step they take. Rest and reflection. The day drifts toward its end. The sky above the savanna burns in soft amber and rose, the light stretching long shadows across the earth. Heat dissolves into warmth, and the scent of rain and dust hangs gently in the air. The elephants slow their pace. The matriarch leads her family to a quiet clearing where the grass grows thick and sweet. They have walked far today, and even giants need to rest. The herd gathers close together, mothers and daughters, calves and elders, forming a loose circle beneath the trees. Here, in the fading light, they are not just a herd. They are a heartbeat. Some feed lazily, pulling at tufts of grass with half-closed eyes. Others stand motionless, their trunks resting on the ground, breathing in slow, heavy rhythms. The youngest calf curls up beside its mother, its small body leaning into the curve of her leg. She lowers her trunk, laying it lightly across the calf's back, a gesture as ancient as time, a promise of protection through the night. As dusk deepens, the savanna changes. The sky turns from gold to violet, and then to the deep blue of early night. Stars begin to appear, one by one, until the heavens shimmer like dust on velvet. Far away, another herd calls, a soft, low rumble carried by the cool night air. The matriarch answers with a single note, a sound that says, "We are here, we are safe." These quiet exchanges travel through the darkness, threads of connection that hold the vast plains together. Elephants sleep little and never deeply. They rest standing, their massive bodies swaying softly with each breath. Now and then, one will lie down for a few minutes, rolling gently onto its side, trusting the circle of the herd to keep watch. The calves dream beside their mothers, their trunks twitching in small playful motions as though chasing butterflies through the tall grass of their imagination. Around them, the savanna hums its nighttime lullaby. Crickets, wind, the faint rustle of leaves, and somewhere in the distance the soft roar of a sleeping lion carried faintly on the breeze. But here, within the herd, there is peace. The matriarch stands still, her eyes half closed, her silhouette framed against the silver light of the moon. She has led her family through another day, a day of distance, memory, and life. And as the cool night deepens, she exhales slowly, her breath joining the rhythm of the wind. In this moment, the savanna sleeps. The stars keep watch, and the gentle giants dream. The night settles over the plains like a blanket of cool air. The last glow of daylight fades beyond the horizon, and the moon rises